graduated, I didn't actually know what I wanted to do, and so I spoke to different people at the athletic department and all around campus and just tried to get advice on where I should go and what I should do, and whether it's school or something else, and a lot of them advised me to take a year off. So the organization itself is called Beautiful Dream Society, and they work with, they have two parts to the organization. So one part is human trafficking, and the other part is working with kids. And so the human trafficking side is basically taking girls out of prostitution and those that have been trafficked, who have been sold into prostitution of some sort. So whether their parents sold them or they just found their way in, they were taken from school or from a mall or something like that, and taken across the border into South Africa and sold for things. And if they were from Lesotho, we would take them back to Lesotho. If it wasn't in fact that they were sold into trafficking and they wanted out, we would be that safe haven for them. We would help rehabilitate them back into society. We would do psychological rehabilitation. We would teach them kind of trade skills, stuff like that, to get them into living on their own. Then the kids side is we would work with kids who have been orphaned, mostly by AIDS. It could be multiple different reasons. Both their parents died, their parents just didn't want them, they were abandoned, whatever it is. Because Lesotho has the second highest HIV and AIDS rate in Africa. And so 1 in 3 people have it essentially. So a lot of kids are orphaned by that. So what I did was I worked with them on practicing their English. So we had a linguistics teacher who would go in and teach them English, and then I would come in the afternoons and help them just kind of practice what they learned. So learning sentences, learning how to comprehend what they're reading, working on reading, things like that. And so that was my basic job with that side of the kids side. I mean, so many great stories of what I could tell you, but probably the one that sticks out the most is there was a little boy who, 5 years old, and 8 years old. He looks like he's 5 years old. He was really malnutritioned as a kid and just developmental delays because of that. He wasn't getting enough nutrients when he was a baby, and when he was 2 years old and supposed to be walking, he looked like a baby. And his biggest triumph that I got to witness was he couldn't hold a pencil when I first moved there. So back last August, he had started school and he couldn't hold a pencil. And so we basically had to reteach him, or essentially teach him all of the kind of things of like basic things that we would know. And so a couple months later, he was in school and I happened to be there in the morning. And the teacher had called me in and she was like, "Hey Kristin, you have to see this." And she just had the biggest smile. So I was like, okay, something's good here, something is great. And he looks at me and he looks down at his paper and he starts writing, and he wrote a T, which is the beginning to his name. And that was the first letter he'd learned ever. And he just looks up at me with the biggest smile, like the biggest beaming smile of just like, I did this, like I learned something, and I know that I can write the rest of my name now. Like I know that I can learn, and I know. And it took him 2 months to get there, but he was just all smiles. And I mean, how can you not be happy about something like that? Okay, so they getting to talk to so many different advisors and people who have been there, they really helped me to see. They helped me talk through what it is that I am actually passionate about, and they got to see, or they helped me to see kind of what is out there in the world, and that there's so many opportunities for you, and there's so many things that you can do, and that you don't actually have to know what it is that you want to do with your life, and you can kind of just go explore the world and see it for yourself, and you'll end up where you're supposed to end up, I guess. So yeah, say my favorite sports moment is beating Ohio State. We beat them my senior year, first round of NCAAs. And so just getting to, I mean, my team had worked so hard for that. All the girls on the team were just, they knew that it was possible. And as we're playing and stuff like that, it's just like, oh my gosh, this really is possible. Like, this is something that we can do. And just how the team came together and was just like, all right, this is our dream, and this is what we're gonna run with. And we have it in our hands, so like, let's do this. And we ended up beating them in a shootout. And just the look on Ohio State's face was like, how the heck did that just happen? Like, really? But it's like we were the ultimate underdog in a sense, and we came and just rallied as a team and really just got to celebrate something great. So it's easily my favorite.